The Flower Ornament Scripture, a translation of the Avatamsaka Sutra by Thomas Cleary. Homage to all past, future, and present Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Pacceka Buddhas, and Shravakas. Book 1. The Wonderful Adornments of the Leaders of the Worlds. That is to say, ocean of subtle flames, a king of a heaven of great freedom, found the door of liberation through the tranquility and practical power of the realm of space and the cosmos. The celestial king, light of the name of freedom, gained the door of liberation through freely observing all things. The celestial king, eye of pure virtues, found the door of liberation, of effortless action, knowing that all things are not born, do not perish, and do not come or go. The celestial king, enjoyable great intelligence, found the door of liberation through the ocean of wisdom, directly perceiving the real character of all things. The celestial king, freedom of immutable light, found the door of liberation through the great practical concentration of bestowing boundless peace and happiness on living beings. The celestial king, eye of sublime adornments, found the door of liberation through causing observation of the truth of nullity and annihilating all ignorance and fear. The celestial king, light of skillful meditation, found the door of liberation through entering infinite realms without producing any activity of thought about existence. The celestial king, delightful great knowledge, found the door of liberation by going everywhere in the 10 directions to preach the truth, yet without moving and without relying on anything. The celestial king, universal sound array banner, found the gate of liberation by entry into the Buddha's realm of tranquility and everywhere manifesting great light. The celestial king, light of fame of extreme exertion, found the gate of liberation by abiding in his own enlightenment, yet having an infinitely broad perspective. At that time, the celestial king, ocean of subtle flames, imbued with the spiritual power of the Buddha, surveyed the whole host of celestial beings of the heavens of great freedom, and said in verse, "The Buddha body extends throughout all the great assemblies. It fills the cosmos without end. Quiescent, without essence, it cannot be grasped. It appears just to save all beings. The Buddha, king of the teaching, appears in the world, able to light the lamp of sublime truth which illumines the world. His state is boundless and inexhaustible. This is what Name of Freedom has realized. The Buddha is inconceivable beyond discrimination, comprehending forms everywhere as insubstantial. For the sake of the world, he opens wide the path of purity. This is what pure eyes can see. The Buddha's wisdom is unbounded. No one in the world can measure it. It forever destroys beings' ignorance and confusion. Great intelligence has entered this deeply and abides there in peace. The Buddha's virtues are inconceivable. In beings who witness them, afflictions die out. They cause all worlds to find peace. Immutable freedom can see this. Sentient beings in the darkness of ignorance are always deluded. The Buddha expounds for them the teaching of dispassion and serenity. This is the lamp of wisdom that illumines the world. Sublime eyes knows this technique. The Buddha's body of pure subtle form is manifest everywhere and has no compare. This body has no essence and no resting place. It is contemplated by skillful meditation. The voice of the Buddha has no limit or obstruction. All those capable of accepting the teaching hear it. Yet the Buddha is quiescent and forever unmoving. This is the liberation of delightful knowledge. Serene, emancipated, master of the celestial and the human, there is nowhere in the 10 directions he does not appear. The radiance of his light fills the world. This is seen by majestic banner of unimpeded truth. The Buddha sought enlightenment for the sake of all beings, over boundless oceans of aeons. With various spiritual powers he teaches all. Light of Fame has realized this truth. Furthermore, the celestial king banner of the delightful light of truth found the door of liberation in observing the faculties of all beings, expounding the truth for them, and cutting off their doubts. The celestial king ocean of pure adornments found the door of liberation, causing vision of Buddha whenever brought to mind. The celestial king light of supreme wisdom found the door of liberation, realizing the body of adornments that have no basis and are equal in terms of phenomenal nature. The celestial king banner of independent wisdom found the door of liberation, of comprehending all mundane things, and in a single instant setting up oceans of inconceivable adornments. The celestial king delight in tranquility found the door of liberation, of manifesting inconceivable Buddha lands in a single pore without hindrance. The celestial king eye of universal knowledge found the door of liberation, of all-sided observation of the universe. The celestial king delighting use of intellect found the door of liberation, producing all kinds of displays for the benefit of all beings, always appearing eternally. The celestial king, light of intellect sown with virtue, found the door of liberation, observing all objects in the world and entering into the truth of inconceivability. The celestial king, undefiled, tranquil light, found the door of liberation, showing all beings the essential ways of emancipation. The celestial king, vast pure light, found the door of liberation, of observing all teachable beings and guiding them into the way of enlightenment. At that time, the celestial king banner of the delightful light of truth, imbued with the Buddha's power, surveyed all the hosts of the heavens of minor vastness, infinite vastness, and vast results, and said in verse, "The realm of the Buddhas is inconceivable. No sentient being can fathom it. The Buddhas cause their minds to develop faith and resolution and great enjoyment without end. If any beings can accept the teaching, the Buddha with spiritual powers will guide them, causing them to always see the Buddha before them. Ocean of adornments sees in this way. The nature of all things has no resting place. The Buddha's appearance in the world is the same way. They have no resting place in any state of being. Supreme wisdom can contemplate the meaning of this. Whatever be the heart's desire of sentient beings, the Buddha's spiritual powers can manifest. Each different, they are inconceivable. This is Wisdom Banner's ocean of liberation. All lands existing in the past, they can show in a single pore. This is the great spiritual power of the Buddhas. Delight in tranquility can expound this. The inexhaustible ocean of all teachings is assembled in the sanctuary of one teaching. Such is the nature of truth explained by the Buddhas. Eye of knowledge can understand this technique. In all lands, in all quarters, expounding the truth in each, in every one. The Buddha's body has no coming or going. This is the realm of delight in use of intellect. The Buddha sees things of the worlds as like reflections of light. He enters into their most recondite mysteries and explains that the nature of all things is always quiescent. Intellect sown with virtue can see this. The Buddha knows all phenomena and reigns the reign of truth according to being's faculties, in order to open the inconceivable gate of emancipation. Tranquil serenity can understand this. The world-honored one always, with great kindness and compassion, appears in order to benefit sentient beings, equally showering the rain of truth to the field of their capacities. Pure light can expound this. Furthermore, the celestial king, repute of pure wisdom, found the door of liberation, comprehending the ways and means of emancipation of all sentient beings. The celestial king's supreme vision found the door of liberation, of shadow-like demonstration according to the wishes of all celestial beings. The celestial king virtue of tranquility found the door of liberation, of great skill in means, adorning the realms of all Buddhas. The celestial king sound of the polar mountain found the door of liberation, of following all sentient beings into the eternally flowing cycle of birth and death. The celestial king, eye of pure mindfulness, found the door of liberation, remembering the Buddha's ways of taming and pacifying sentient beings. The celestial king, delightful universal illumination, found the door of liberation that flowed forth from the ocean of universal memory and concentration power. The celestial king, sovereign lord of the world, found the door of liberation, of ability to cause sentient beings to meet the Buddha and produce the treasury of faith. The celestial king, light flame sovereign, found the door of liberation, of ability to cause all beings to hear the truth, to believe and rejoice, and become emancipated. The celestial king, enjoyer of meditating on the truth and creating demonstrations, found the door of liberation, entering into the civilizing activities of all enlightening beings, boundless and inexhaustible as space. The celestial king, banner of miraculous displays, found the door of liberation, observing the infinite afflictions of sentient beings with universal compassion and wisdom. At that time, the celestial king, repute of pure wisdom, imbued with the power of the Buddha, surveyed the hosts of celestial beings of the heavens of little purity, boundless purity, and ubiquitous purity, and said in verse, "He who realizes that the nature of things is without solidity appears in all the boundless lands of the 10 directions, expounding the inconceivability of the realm of Buddhahood. He causes all to return to the ocean of liberation. The Buddha is in the world without a resting place. Like a shadow or reflection, he appears in all lands. The nature of things is ultimately non-origination. This is the entryway of the King's supreme vision. Cultivating skill in means over countless ages, purifying all lands in the 10 directions. The suchness of the universe never moves. This is the realization of virtue of tranquility. Sentient beings are shrouded and veiled by ignorance. Blind in the dark, they remain always in birth and death. The Buddha shows them the path of purity. This is the liberation of Hola Mountain Sound. The unexcelled path that the Buddhists traverse cannot be plumbed by any sentient being. It is shown by various expedient methods. Pure eye clearly observing can comprehend them all. The Buddha, by means of concentration formula, numerous as the atoms in oceans of lands, teaches sentient beings covering everything. Universal illumination can enter this. The appearance of a Buddha is hard to encounter. It may be met once in countless aeons. It is capable of inducing faith in sentient beings. This is the realization of the celestial sovereign. The Buddha explains that the nature of things is natureless, profound, far-reaching. It is inconceivable. He causes all beings to engender pure faith. Like flame can comprehend this. The Buddhas of all times are replete with virtue. They teach sentient beings inconceivably. Contemplating this produces joy. Enjoyer of truth can teach in this way. Sentient beings are sunk in the ocean of afflictions. Their ignorance and pollution of views are much to be feared. The great teacher pities them and frees them forever. This is the realm of contemplation, of banner of miracles. The Buddha constantly emits great beams of light. In each light beam are innumerable Buddhas. Each makes displays of sentient beings' affairs. This is the entryway of wonderful sound.